Slightly change the subject. A couple of your really major films of The Last Picture Show and Paper Moon are in black and white at a time when not a lot of movies were being made in black and white. And you've done some wonderful color films. Robbie Muller worked with you. To me, there's something really magical about black and white. And I mentioned this to you yesterday, too. You're a film of yours I like quite a lot, Nickelodeon. I just learned that I haven't seen it in this version. It was just, I don't know if you've seen Nickelodeon. It's about the Nickelodeon era. Ryan O'Neal, Burt Reynolds. And it was originally color. But you intended that film to be seen in black and white, and I guess there's a new version of it now that's in black and white.
It took me 30 years, but I got them to put it out in black and white. But when we shot it, Kovacs, the cameraman, and I thought that it might eventually appear, even though we were shooting it in color. We were hoping that one day it might appear in black and white, and so he lit it with black and white in mind. So when we did make the transition to black and white, like, it isn't just a question of taking out the color, it's more than that. It looks great. It looks like it was shot in black and white. It's kind of silvery. It looks like old-fashioned black and white. It's very good. I'm so happy with it. The New York Times wrote a piece about it in black and white and said, now we understand, what the picture was meant to be. Black and white is a hugely important medium for acting, and it helps enormously with period pictures, particularly certain periods. I did Daisy Miller, which is 1876. That's fine in color, but Nickelodeon, which is 1910 to 1915, really had to be in black and white, and it wasn't. And I hated the picture in color. I couldn't stand to look at it. And when we were getting ready to make The Last Picture Show, I was sitting with Orson Welles at breakfast one day in his rented house in Beverly Hills, and I said, I'm going to try to get a lot of depth of field into this script, into this picture, the way you did in Touch of Evil. I think I can do it in color. You'll never get it in color. Well, they have faster film now, and I think maybe I can get it. You'll never get it in color. Well, I don't know what to do then. Shoot it in black and white. I don't know if they'd let me. Of course it would be great. Well, it's an actor's picture. It's all about the characters. You know what I always say about black and white. What do you say, Orson? It's the actor's friend. Why do you say it? Because every performance is better in black and white. Name me a great performance in color. Go ahead. So I went to the producers and I said, I'd like to shoot it in black and white. Why? I didn't say because Orson told me to. I think that would go over. So I said, I think we can achieve the period more easily with black and white. It was 1950, 51, 52. That's also sort of black and white, right on the verge of color period. And they came back and said, okay. Years later, I said, how come you let me do it in black and white? He said, no, I thought it would be a novelty. It was a novelty. It was the first studio picture in black and white in about 3 or 4 years. But it made a huge difference. Huge difference.
Do you think, I sometimes wonder, black and white is my favorite medium, and it's become almost impossible, do you think, today to do black and white? They make it more expensive to do black and white today. But I sometimes wonder if it's possible to do it today without the audience feeling, oh, this is arty or precious or something of that sort. Is it gone forever for us?
I don't know. I think you can do it occasionally. You can get away with it. George Clooney did it with Good Night and Good Luck. Spielberg did it with Schindler's List. A few people did it after I did Paper Moon in black and white again. Mel Brooks had a big hit with Young Frankenstein, and which was black and white. And Bob Fosse did Lenny.
And that happens in black.
And that in black and white. Coppola almost killed the whole thing with Rumblefish. It shouldn't have been in black and white or color. Sorry. Maybe a hit put out on me now.
You told me a funny story about John Ford, about when Ford says to you something about something you admired in his film. He says, "Oh, that's an accident."
Oh yeah, I said, I mentioned some incident in one of his films, a moment, and he said, "Oh, that's just an accident. Most of the good things in pictures happen by accident." And when he said that, I had only made one film, and I thought, really? Okay. So then I went to, next time I saw Wells, and I repeated this. I said, "Ford says, best things in pictures happen by accident. Do you think that's true, Orson?" And Orson goes, "Yes." "Yes, you could even say that a director is a man who presides over accidents." Wait a minute, I'm not finished. And I thought, what the hell does that mean? But I learned very quickly on a picture I did on the last picture show where we had a scene with Ben Johnson and Tim Bottoms by a tank dam, and he tells a story about riding horses across the tank dam. It's a beautiful scene. It's the scene that got him the Oscar, I think. And it was a gray day, and suddenly the sun came out right during the scene, right as we started rolling. Came out, then it went behind a cloud, and it came out, and it went behind a cloud. It was just like, whoa. And even though Tim Bottoms, to his everlasting demerit, forgot a line, and I had to cut away in a scene that should have been done without a cut, I still used that take because the sun coming in and out was just glorious. And it was an accident. I mean, who knew it was going to happen? We did 2 takes. The second take, we didn't do it, and the first take was by far the best, even though the second one was more perfect.
You've stolen my thunder because I was exactly going to ask you about that scene. I think it's one of the great scenes. It reminds me of Ford, too, because there's so many of those little natural moments that occur there.
Yeah.
It's so priceless in these films. Yeah.
Well, I learned a very important lesson from Ford through Henry Fonda. Because Fonda told me that when they made The Grapes of Wrath, the big scene at the end, when he leaves his mother, he said Ford wouldn't let them rehearse it. They could rehearse it privately, but not for him. He didn't want to see it until they shot it. And in fact, he encouraged them not to rehearse. And that was what you see in the pictures, the first take. I've done that with emotional scenes pretty consistently. I'll just, the actor will, I won't let the actor play it for me until we do it. Cloris Leachman, the last scene in the last picture show, and she throws the coffee and yells at him and all that. She said, "I wanted to show you how I'm going to do it." I said, "I don't want to see it." She said, "Well, how am I going to rehearse it?" I said, "Rehearse it how the hell you want, but I don't want to see it until you shoot it." "Why?" "Because I don't want to." And there's something, don't forget, the director is the actor's first audience. And the actors want an audience. That's what they're in the business for. And so if you deny them the audience until that moment when the camera turns, we're talking about freshness again. It's the first time I'm seeing it. So it's the first time the audience is seeing it. And there's something you get from that. Now, when she did it, she now claims she could have done it better, but she never could have got that breathless, terrified quality that she had, because it was bursting out of her despite herself. That was just because she'd never done it before in front of anybody. And it was great.